clapping, any brushing, I can pick it up. Perfect. Okay, so in 5, 4...
Lee, right, okay. Because he's always had that type of drive in him.
Lee's unbelievable. Lee is unbelievable.
Working with Lee is not something I ever imagined I'd be crazy enough to do, no.
And I saw a tiger in a tank, and I thought, it's going to come out, but I don't know how it's going to come out, but when it does, it will be spectacular. So that's how I met Lee. Yeah.
Have you been told what this is for?
A little bit, yeah. I've led to believe it's about Lee and his journey, if that's right.
How long do I have for that?
What's he like to work for?
Don't put that on. Sorry.
So when you said that there, you know, like loads of cringy lines from movies.
One more time.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Can you tell us a little bit about what Lee was like as a child?
Very boisterous. Always into boy bands. Thought he was take that at one stage with his cousin, and they used to do a little show in front of the family every Sunday when we all got together. I don't know, he was always like a cheeky, chappy lad, do you know what I mean, all the way through his life. But very loving, very caring, and we've all been a very close family.
Growing up with Lee was an experience, yeah. He's the firstborn, so he was always used to being the centre of attention, would you believe it, yeah. And then I came along, I think he had to shuffle over a little bit and let me in there as well, which we managed. He's just always been there. It's always been me and Lee for as long as I can remember. Whenever I looked around, Lee was always beside me or behind me. Lee was always sporty as a child.
He went to live in Hull to do an apprenticeship with Hull City for the football, and he used to travel back and forth to Hull for 2 years, and I just thought, this is the passion.
He was always going to be a footballer, it's just where he went. I don't think he even had a backup plan until he was forced to have a backup plan.
But then he got run over and he broke his leg in 2 places. And then we thought, oh yeah, he might be able to play again. But the day he got the pot off his leg, he went on a tarsy and fell off that and broke his arm. So that was the end of that. He just I think it knocked his confidence.
And he did a few jobs after, sort of football didn't work out, and then insurance sort of fell into his lap and he just flew with it.
So I've been in the insurance game for 3 or 4 years. I was good, I just loved it straight. The first minute I left that training course, which was a story within itself. There's so many stories and backstories attached to the myth of the legend of my coming through the ranks really. So I was going with Terry Blackburn, my mate, who's Bespoke Newcastle. Terry's like a superstar of the industry. We were hawking our way around the different networks as such to try and get a good deal. I was speaking to them, they were all approaching Bespoke, and we were at our old company. They were all approaching us, asking us, would you come and speak to us, would you do this, would you do that? I informed the company I work for that I was speaking to people because I wanted to do the right thing. It was important to me. We met several of them and I was undecided really about what to do. I was very upfront with my old company, like I said, and went in and the Windmill, which is, to me, Richard Coulson was like an industry legend, and Bob Scotto, again another industry legend, and Terry took me to meet them with Gary Thorpe, who owns a massive firm in Primus. And I guess I was just with Terry for the ride really, but the minute I walked in and just met Richard straight away, there was a very special chemistry amongst me and Richard. We're very, very similar. I don't know, it was just right.
I first met Lee in the Windmill Motel on the A19, just outside of Hartlepool, so it wasn't exactly posh. And we were upstairs in a little meeting room, and I remember this person with a really, really firm handshake, which is a tick in the box. And he looked me in the eye when he spoke to me, which is another tick in the box. And I thought, yeah, I quite like you, but we'll see what you like.
I remember about 3 weeks before, we had a charity do at the Windmill, just by mad coincidence. And the lady, Nikki, I think she was called, she worked at the bar. We had a charity do for Great Ormond Street with a palm weighting competition, typical Borough. We had a good day, and afterwards, just to say thank you to the lady who helped us arrange the day, I took her a bunch of flowers just to say thanks for that. Anyway, we sat in the meeting room, Gary, Bob, Richard, Terry, they're talking about numbers, I'm just sat there like, Richard never took his eyes off me for 1 minute. She come in, Nikki, lovely lady, puts the coffee on the table, kiss in the cuddle, how you doing, Lee, you alright and stuff. At that point, Richard, pure crafty, like loads of industry experience, you can probably imagine in your head, he said 2 minutes, I'm going to go to the bathroom, you just keep chatting away, get a coffee and I'll be back. It wasn't until about 2 years later that he told me that he didn't go to the toilet, he pulled Nikki aside downstairs and said,
"Do you know him?" And she says, "Yeah, I do." And I said, "What do you think of him?" She says, "I think he's really nice and he's really honest." I said, "Why is that?" She says, "Because he says thank you, and when he was in before, he bought us a thank you gift." So I thought, yeah, he'll do it for me. The moment I decided I wanted to work with him was there and then, because that's how I work. But I didn't tell him that, because I wanted him to try hard to get in. It was just a case of shaping that raw talent and enthusiasm and taking it into a different marketplace, taking him into a world where he hadn't been, that I knew he could do. Because what he had was a work ethic second to none. And when you've got that, you're home and dry. So I knew straight away that I'd work with him. He didn't. And then it was a case of, well, we'll just keep him hungry and keep him dangling. And then eventually we got him in. So I knew straight away, that's my gift. I had to engage with people straight away, or my gut says no. And on Mr. Flanagan, my gut said yes.
Morning, members. Alright. Hey, Jack. Very, very, very respectful, hard-working group. I was every one of them brilliant. You need to be really self-employed in our job as well. It's self-employed life insurance, especially over mortgages. Actually, mortgages as well. You've got to wait longer for your commission stuff. It's a tough gig to do. So you all treat like yourself like they're employed staff, and they just motivate each other and work really hard all the time.
Lee, do you want Chelsea and what you can't do as well, not?
Ask the wage, doll. It'd be good for you, all. You're sitting with the boss at the network. It'd be a really good thing for everyone to sit with. We'll obviously up the wages. What the fuck?
It's open.
I am.
Alright.
Alright.
Louise, Jacob. Yo, Jacob, we need you.
They're hard workers.
They do it together.
They're nice, they're calm people. They are, they're really close as well. Make sure you know it doesn't just carry on. It gives you good ethics and work ethic and your friends who you work with and your family, you know, so it's, you see them a bit despondent because they're not getting paid what they thought they would, or they don't get this pay, whatever. It's tough. But obviously you get some really good ones as well when people get good pay. It swings and roundabouts, I guess, but when you work with families, it's a very emotional roller coaster because you care so much, you know. Hi Sarah.
Lee, unbelievable man.
He just won't listen.
Like everything's at like 100 miles per hour, he doesn't sleep.
I'm one of his closest friends, forever telling him to slow down.
He never ever switches off, he's constantly on it.
I've never met anybody like him in my life, like ever.
What have you got, what you're doing, how was your diary?
He sees and hears and understands everything.
Texts at like 4:30 in the morning saying wake up.
I text at 3 in the morning, I miss call at 4, I text at 5.
Oh my God, go away, I'm sleeping.
I don't know how he does 3 or 4 hours sleep.
Are you up? What are you doing? I'm like, cooking the breakfast, Lee, or I'm putting a wash on.
I call at 7:30 to say, where are you? I'm in the office, where are you? I'll beat you again.
Cheers, what do you think about this? I'm like, oh, not another idea. Put the phone down.
I've just met no one who's got as much energy as him, ever.
He won't stop. So if he's poorly, he still comes to work. If he's not very well, he still comes to work. If you tell him to have a day off, he still rings you, he still talks to you. If he goes on holiday, he won't switch his phone off.
Just something that's ingrained in him. Even when we were kids, do you know, if you ran up the street quicker than Lee, he'd be practicing 4 days a week to make sure the next time you ran up the street he would win. If you scored 3 goals, he wanted to score 5. So that's just transformed in the terms of his working career. If you sell 3 policies or if you help 5 families, he wants to help 10, and he just doesn't rest. I often joke with him and say it's like an illness in him. Do you know, like you just this obsessive desire to want to drive himself forward. And it's often me saying, Lee, look, slow down, but he's not listened, and he achieves great things on the back of his drive.
We've got to keep changing all the time. You've got to keep reinventing yourself. Within 6 months, my application was getting rejected and getting put on hold and getting rejected. Loads of questions about my financial issues I had in the past. Very open about, you know, I've had a tough time in the past. I ain't come from a silver spoon family and it's not a generational business. When I started, I had nothing. And, you know, it got to the point where I didn't think I'd get took on. And we weren't a big entity, so I had no pull, I had no push. There was no real desire to get me across, apart from Richard and Bob's belief in me and Tony's belief in me to get me signed off. Every day I'd be on the call saying, look, I'm not earning, I've got a missus and kids I need to earn for and provide for. And it was this really scary, hairy time, and I think I'd sort of accepted in my own head that if I wasn't signed off by the end of the November time, it'd been 6 months without any money, I had to go and get a job. I remember getting the phone call, I was walking the kids, and the phone call comes Sam Howard, and I'm thinking, oh goodness, what now, another no answer, Lee. I remember picking up and she was screaming, she hadn't even met me at that point, but she was screaming away, Lee, I can't believe it, you've been signed off, you can go selling. And even now, I remember getting quite emotional about it, thinking like, fuck, here's an opportunity. And the minute I was given that opportunity, I got made down, I just worked as hard as I possibly could. I think it's important to know that, you know, Sam did a lot of work in the background. Terry helped me by helping my staff getting signed off. But Richard, Bob and Tony, they put the neck on the line for me, and you know, I don't think I get things like that. They risked everything for me to get signed off. And they've got my loyalty for that. I'll never forget what they did for me.
He's a good lad, he cares. That's why I like him. He's a good kid. But he just needs to look after himself and his family, because he's a big softy. I would describe Lee Flanagan as a chocolate eclair. And what I mean by that is hard on the outside and soft as SH1T in the middle. He's a genuine caring bloke who's got this tough armour-plated exterior. And every now and again I want him to spend some time on the middle bit, on himself, because it's so good. And he's doing well, he's on a journey. He's doing well, and we'll just keep pushing him and see how high he can go. But I want him to take plenty of rest for himself as well. And that's the deal, Mr. Flanagan. You listen in, boy. Really, do you? That'll get him going, won't it?
Yeah, that was perfect.
Yeah. I treat him like a son, you know. I treat him like a son. Because he's that good. And I'm that proud of him. And I know he listens to me. But sometimes you get selective hearing, Mr. Flanagan. So listen to me, because I've been there and worn your t-shirt. And if you want to be here for years and years and years building this whopper, listen to me, and you're about 99% of the way there. You're a good lad.
Lee is unbelievable. He's the maddest person I've ever met in my life, but he's like a mentor to me. He's like my leader. If I've got an issue, I'll go to Lee. He's everything. I haven't got enough words for Lee. If it wasn't for Lee, I wouldn't be where I am today. I'm 100% sure of that.
And it's that compassion, and it's that true gentleman in Lee that looks to push him forward and looks to push Bespoke forward.
He's an amazing person, and just thankful for what he's not just done for me, but for Darren, giving Darren the opportunity. Just what he's done for our family, really. He's just given us a whole new outlook of life, really, and always be thankful to him and grateful.
Does he push you quite a bit?
Oh, always.
Lee does push people, but he pushes people for their own benefits, because we have our own targets, not his targets, and that's what he asked for at the beginning of the year, it's what he'll ask for at the beginning of the month.
And I think without that behind you, I think you struggle in the industry. I think that is a massive, massive advantage that we've got in here, being part of Bespoke at Primus, rather than somebody else under Primus. I think we've got him backing us. He needs to be about, he needs to be here. He's the core, isn't he?
He'll say things, so I find the answer myself, and then you see on his face, he's like, yeah, I've pushed you in the right direction there to come to that answer yourself. I don't know what he's got this gift where he can just see situations, people, and somewhat I think he's seen to the future a little bit as well.
He knows exactly what he wants, and he makes little jokes saying he's never wrong, and the things he says all come true and stuff like that, but like they genuinely do. Like I said from the beginning, he's always said, we'll be here as a business and we'll do this. And I suppose there's people who've worked with us who've kind of maybe doubted him along the way.
You judge people, don't you? Judge a book by its cover. You smell Lee before he walks in with his expensive aftershave and, you know, his really smart clothes and his nice car and things like that. And you put people in a box, and I think people outside of Bespoke can do that. Well, I know they do, because some of my friends and family have said that to me. And then until they meet him and speak to him and see how much of a genuine guy he is, and that he has a goal and he's works hard to achieve that goal and wants to be part of a group and a collective,
then I think you find him endearing and you tune in and you want to be part of that club. I'm very lucky to be in that club.
He gives me a kick in the ass when I need it. Whether I'm noticing it or not, he's always the first one to say, pull your finger out.
He's doing it because he wants you to be the best version of you, which is important, especially in this type of industry. You've got to know how good you can be to succeed.
I've worked with people in the past who don't care about you, in a sense that like Lee does, and having experienced the love that you get from Lee, I wouldn't want to work under anyone else. Just a really good guy, yeah.
When your back's against the wall, you want Lee stood with you because he will help you take that first step forward.
That was emotional, that wasn't it? That was emotional.
I love him, yeah, I care about him, but he does my head in. I just find him so...
I would allow my son and my daughter to go and work with him. And that's the biggest testimony you can give anyone. So if my daughter doesn't become a professional footballer, she wants to go into selling protection, she go and work with Lee. That's the bottom line. That's how much I think of him.
Sometimes in life you just meet people and you were meant to meet them. And I think that's what that day was. It was a big change point for my life, and yeah, we set Bespoke up on the back of quite a few issues, but we set it up and we were the smallest Bespoke, but we were us and just got our head down, our arse up, and just got to work.
What do you think of Michelle?
I've got a lot of respect for Michelle. Yeah, she's done a lot for me as well since joining, and I'm getting a bit emotional. Don't put that in. Oh, can I get a tissue?
Yeah.